This is just a quick video to show you how to manually save textures out of Mudbox. So I've got this scene, I'm going to save it, and make sure you've set your project. You can hit the set project button when you go to save, and I'll just use my default one, although it's better to use a real one. I'm just going to call this cube, and then I'll do file, send to Mudbox, send as new scene, and I've got this cube in here, and here's like a grass texture, and maybe I'll increase the brush size nice and big, and then I'll use 2048 on there, maybe even bigger. Make this real quick. Obviously this isn't how you would texture anything for real, but just to quickly see something on there. Okay, good enough. Okay, anyways. So now I'll go into where you have these different tabs. I'll go to Object List, select the cube, and File, Send to Maya, Update Current Scene, and just give it a name, Grassy Cube 1 or something. Let's use the default path for that. Okay. So there, I just hit 6 and I can see the grass. If I go into Hypershade, I'm holding down spacebar for the hotbox, click in the southern marking menu area and go to Hypershade. If I double click here, you can see where it's saving, which is actually, it's saving it under the Mudbox area, which isn't necessarily the best place for it anyway. Ideally it would be saved in the Maya source images directory. But the point of this was if that's not working. So let's go back into Mudbox. For some reason you can't, it's not transferring back. And it could be not having set the project, or who knows what the problem is. So go into Mudbox, and you see you have these layers here. I can merge all my layers into one with merge visible, but in this case I only have one layer. So I'm going to right mouse click, export, select. So I'm in my default project, and I'll go in the source images directory. I'm just calling this grass texture TIFF and using the 16-bit TIFF here, and I'll hit save. And it's important to know where you save it, ideally in the source images directory of the project you're working out of, so that if I, for example, I could create a new material or add it to the existing one. I'll just create a new one, map a file, browse for that, grass texture right on top, open, and then in this case let's do two panes side by side. Obviously this is the same as the one because it worked automatically, but if it's just gray and I drag this on here, you can see that I got my texture on there. So that is how you can manually do it. It's nothing to it really, just the main point of the story is go to layers, right mouse click, and then export, select it, and then save it in the right place. That's all. Very simple. So you don't have to use the send back and forth if it's causing a problem for you. The idea is it's supposed to be convenient, but in fact it doesn't necessarily save it in a good place anyways.